So Donald Trump appears to be in some legal quagmire. Many people, some of whom I respect, believe that he's going to be indicted any moment. I disagree. I'm going to tell you what the Democrat plan is for Donald Trump and why they're keeping him under such duress. I mean, think about all that they have invested in making him a villain. The FBI falsifies documents in order to get a FISA warrant to spy on the Trump campaign. Then you have Russiagate, allegations proven to be unsubstantiated by evidence that was dredged out in public for 3 years straight, leading MSNBC propaganda. You've got the 2 impeachments, including for something that a quid pro quo that Biden made in Ukraine to get rid of a prosecutor. The same thing that they're accusing Donald Trump of, a quid pro quo, but Biden's is much worse. 2 impeachments. And now they've raided his personal residence in Mar-a-Lago. Yes, possibly to prevent him from running, to find some serious dirt on him that will get many MAGA Republicans to stay home. A fishing expedition, if you will. Whatever they might be able to find in Melania's closet, in the pockets of her nightgown, in her lingerie. And they've gone so far to essentially accuse Trump of treason in the New York Times by conflating the fact that he has papers with CIA informants having gone missing in China and other places. This is what they are trying to dredge up rumors in public to tarnish his name, to associate with him. But what I want to do right now is, instead of looking at the granular level, I want to take a lower resolution viewpoint of the Democrats' evil plans for this. They are merely trying to keep Donald Trump's name in the news. They have invested enormous amounts of political capital and the loss of their reputation, the destruction of it, in order to get you to hate Trump. From the fine people hoax, the drinking bleach hoax, the Russiagate hoax that I mentioned earlier that they kept recycling through the news, assuring you that they were going to get Donald Trump for something, hookers pissing on his bed in Moscow. Everything was a lie that they used. You see, somebody like me, to demonstrate the cost, used to believe every single word in the New York Times is gospel. Hey, it's fit enough to print in the New York Times. It's good enough for me. Now I don't even bother to open the paper. I just assume that everything in there is propaganda. This is a stunning loss of reputation. Whether or not they deserve to have that in the past is another question. But that is how I believed. That is how many people believed. And we are done with the legacy media. They have sunk, again, enormous amounts of political capital in getting you to hate Donald Trump. And given that the media has so many people's opinions of him to be exceedingly low, to bordering on hatred, if not outright hatred, like my mother, who before the 2020 election, when I questioned her who she was going to vote for, and she said Biden, and I'm like, I don't understand. What hasn't Trump done that she would have liked? And she's like, no, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. It was all implanted by the media, hypnotizing you into having great enmity towards him. It's why they stopped playing his COVID addresses, because people were starting to approve of him. So again, what they're doing right now is keeping his name in the news to remind people of who you fear, who you should hate, and distracting them from what should be the national narrative, the Republican narrative of how badly the Democrats have performed, doing all that they can to destroy the energy sector, the rising prices and inflation because of it. Just take a look at how much you used to pay under Donald Trump at the fuel pump versus what you pay today. They have promoted racial division in the country, taught CRT in schools, sexualized children, and allowed teachers to discuss their sexual nature with kids. Hey, if you want to be a trans teacher, I don't have anything against that. Just don't talk about sex with my children, or tell him, her, about your lured weekend. They're trying to take away your right to protect yourself as they release hardened, violent criminals back onto the street, as you just saw what happened in Memphis. Ezekiel here did not serve his 3-year sentence for attempted murder instead of being released after 11 months and went on a little killing spree the other day. But you won't hear about this on CNN. I even looked for it on CNN.com, didn't find anything about it. Maybe it's the skin color. Speaking of skin color, the Democrats supported the BLM riots and the destruction of property, stating that they were mostly peaceful protests. Yes, they are guilty of that and a whole hell of a lot more. So what do? They want Trump's name splashing around the news. They don't want to indict him. They want you paying attention to the orange flag that they are waving and, like a magician, distract you from the fact that with the other, that they are locking you down, destroying the readiness of our military, making it go woke, mandating a vaccine that doesn't even prevent the transmission of the virus. But oh no, pay attention to this orange flag that we're waving. Let him insert his big mouth into the political scene so we can reignite the hatred that we have systematically hypnotized you into. And maybe we'll survive the midterms with a tie in the center, or even maybe gain, because we know how to distract people from the truth that is existing right in front of them. They are absolutely not going to indict Trump before the midterms, because people actually might begin to feel sorry for him, because the media and the Democrats have been hammering him so mercilessly, and his job in office was actually pretty good. And they might be able to see that the Democrats are in fact evil, corrupt souls. No, what they are doing is they are using the sunk cost of all the reputation, their lies, and the social fabric that they've torn apart of America, and distract you with the color orange. So it's up to you to see through it, up to everyone to point out how the left-wing ideologues have handled the nation since they gained control. Locking down schools, test scores plummeting, mandating that children 3 years old wear masks.
No. No.
If this is what you want, then ignore everything that the Democrats are distracting you from with the orange Trump flag that they're waving. And maybe we'll have a repeat of it, or maybe it'll get worse. It's your choice, America.